Living Center is going live.
Oh, it's on.
It's on. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Welcome in. Good morning. Easter blessings, Brentwood Inspired Living family. I'm popping in here to my phone where I get the notification that says Brentwood Inspired Living Center has gone live. And I think, oh, good. I did the right thing this morning. I hit the right buttons and here we are when I get that notification. So then I pop in here, and you can do the same thing if you go to your settings on Facebook and go into your notifications. You can turn on notifications for Brentwood Inspired Living Center, and you will get the notification on Sunday morning when we go live. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm looking for us. And occasionally it takes me a little extra minute to find us, but it's there, and that's an easy way to pop in. So good morning, everybody. If you're here, you're family. We consider you family, whether it's your first time or you've been here for decades. You are family. There we go. I have found us. That always sounds interesting. I have found myself online. Okay, welcome in, beautiful beings. Welcome. Hi, Jeanette. Nice to see you here. Let me know when you're here with a comment, because that's when I get to see your name and your profile picture, and I love to connect with you that way. So let me know you can see us and hear us too, because that's always helpful. Welcome in. Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter. You are a unique expression of God, of the divine, and we invite you in this space to be with that truth. So welcome. Open your hearts to that truth. Hi, Raman. Welcome in. Good morning. She said, good morning from California. Good morning from South Carolina. Today, everybody else is in California. Occasionally, we have quite a collection of locations on the screen, but today it's pretty mild. California, South Carolina. Welcome in, everybody. Now, remember that if you want to find out any details about Brentwood Inspired Living Center, you can go to our website, brentwoodilc.org, and you can find out about our events, our times, what's going on. It's a great resource if you have any questions. So I have my phone here in hand, and this enables me to see you. So leave me a message so that I can connect with you. My name is Amy Van Ling, and it is my joy, my true joy, to be here with you each week, sharing this inspired experience at Brentwood Inspired Living Center, where we invite all people to explore their path, their life path, which is also the spiritual path. It's our path, and to tune into the great truth of who and what you are. And so welcome into this space where we love you. Happy Easter Sunday. Easter always falls on the first full moon of spring. And so this is how the date for Easter is chosen. That's why sometimes it's in March. It's always like Easter is fluctuating based on that full moon. And it's always after that Holy Week journey. Many of you have heard me speak over the years about the Holy Week journey, walking into our own Jerusalem, our journey to awakening, and allowing that unfoldment, allowing that transformation of the Easter morning, divine surprise transformation. I love the Easter story. I love because I love the Jesus story, because it's rich. You know, Jesus was a master way shower, and leaves us with this symbolic story about crossing over to new awareness, into higher consciousness, the truth of who and what we truly are. And so in this season, in this Easter time, it's an invitation to shed that shell, to shed that outer shell, and experience the Easter story as our own glory story. I think I gave a talk once. The Easter story is your glory story, and it's a symbolic story. It's a symbolic story of rising in consciousness to create a new thought, to create a new way to live and love and be. And it's just such a great energetic story. And it allows us to tune into the ability to renew again and again and again, and demonstrate that there's something within us that we incarnated with, that that remains, that there's remains after any physical thing dies, that death is not an end of life, just a continuation. Resurrection follows crucifixion. Like this season, it's like we're in spring right now. After winter, spring is reborn. Nature doesn't resist and recoil the winter, the dark, the womb, the tomb. We know that under the snow, there's so much germinating, so much is happening. In the womb, there's a miraculous transformation happening and taking place. And so this is the Easter story. It's about the old crucified, so something new can be born. And all of life is this journey. It is this journey to our wholeness. And so we can always look beyond appearances and recognize that there's a divine plan unfolding, and our task is to hold that vision. And so our theme this month is cultivating courage. And I feel that the Easter story is a courageous story on so many levels. The entire universe calls us, beckons us to be true to ourselves, that we hold the vision beyond outer circumstances or appearances. Pontius Pilate in the story, in the Jesus story, the Easter story, was a symbol of the outer circumstance. He asked Jesus, you think you're the king of the Jews, and to be in our essence, to be in that Christ consciousness, we must go within to that which is real, to that which is indestructible, that is never born and never dies. And Jesus says, yes, it is as you say. It is as you say. So when we focus our attention on the one power and one presence, we will rise above any crucifixion that we experience as an observer or a participant. So this is how we let our light shine into the world, and we celebrate Easter within us. Every day we can celebrate Easter within us. So happy day to celebrate the divine surprise of Easter. Welcome in, everybody. I love to see you here. I love when I chat for a minute, I come back and there's all these names and faces. Yay! Jeanette says, good morning, Amy. Love to see your beautiful face. Happy Easter. Love you. Happy Easter. Love to see your beautiful face. Hi, Carol. Carol says, good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. Pat says, beautiful Easter morning, rebirth. Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Let me know that you're here. I love to see when you join us. Welcome in. Welcome into our joyful place. It is my joy to welcome back Dr. Fred Luskin. He is here. He joined us. I saw him pop in a second ago, and he has made such an enormous impact on the world, being in his Christ consciousness. And we're so grateful to have you here. I know he just came out of a meditation, so he's probably feeling fluid. Fred's message today is the courage to be kind. Very profound and important message. Thank you for being with us, Fred. And Brittany Gilmore is here with us, gifting us with her divine presence and essence and sweetness. And we're so grateful, Brittany, when you say yes to share your time and heart and magnificent music with us. Thank you for being here. And Ron Vieira is with us this morning, shining his light, bringing the Easter within his heart, sharing our selected inspirational reading and our prayer of abundance this morning. Thank you, Ron, for showing up and being you and being the light. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us, joining with us. Fred, Brittany, Ron, and I, we welcome you into this space of compassion and love and communion with Spirit. As you enter into this space, I invite you to take a deep inward breath of the Spirit. That is my favorite definition of inspiration. Many of you know, breath of the Spirit, and open up. Just when we allow ourselves to open up and make ourselves available in this way, we create a space. We create a container for, the divine surprise to drop in. That might be an image, that might be a message, that might be a thought, a song, a billboard, an interaction with somebody. So just notice what you can tune into when you open up that space. Good morning, everybody. Deanna's here. She says, glorious Easter to all. Nancy says, happy Easter, everyone. You sound and look great. Thank you. Jan says, welcome back, Fred. We treasure you and your inspirational, insightful messages. Yes, indeed. Good morning, everybody. Beloveds, I see you joining us. I'm so grateful. A few reminders. We have an in-person meditation group that has started. It's meeting on the first Sunday of each month at 9:35, right before the service, out on the patio at our physical location. So you can find more information about that on the website and in the weekly connection email. You can sign up for the weekly email on our website very easily, so you can get that news every Wednesday about what's going on around here. And also, if you're not in our membership directory, you can find out how to do that on our website, also under the connection tab. And this enables you to receive different various mailings through the snail mail that we send throughout the year, and sometimes little gifts, and then we get to know your birthday too. We can put you on our birthday list and ask you to stand up so we can sing to you on your birthday. So you can do all that on the website. And good morning, Luwinda. Luwinda says, good morning, everyone. Happy Easter to all. I saw the Easter flower arrangement from yesterday. It was beautiful. Thank you, everybody. I saw pictures from yesterday. It was it's so fun. It's so fun to connect with all of you through a picture. So what else do I have to tell you? I want to tell you that we at Brentwood Inspired Living Center love to pray. Our affirmative prayer reflects a knowing that all events, circumstances, people, situations, everything that's going on is here for us, here for our good, for our growth. Even by the world of appearances, it might not look that way to these eyes. Sometimes metaphysics is about seeing beyond the physical. So our affirmative prayer focuses on creating a vibration in the knowing that something profound is unfolding in your life, in everyone's life. And so if you or anyone you know would appreciate life affirming, love affirming prayer, feel free to submit a prayer request on our website, BrentwoodILC.org. That's under the prayer and healing page. And our angel team prays over them for 7 days, and we love to do this. So send them our way. We love that. Good morning, Florence. Good morning, Paris. Good morning, everybody. I see you tuning in. Happy Easter. Welcome in. Okay, divine beings of brilliance and radiance, we are going to get started with activating and enlivening our mission statement. Our mission statement is a place to tune into, a place to center in about what's going on here, why we're here. We are an open, heart-centered, spiritual community, honoring the one presence within us. We welcome all to connect, grow, and expand in wisdom, compassion, and love. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for tuning in and tuning within. I am going to hand the screen over to Brittany for our community sing along this morning. Remember, this is to sing along and get the vibration going and get yourself energized. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you. And yes, I love knowing that we're all singing together, even if it's over the ether of the internet. So you'll definitely know this song, and it's such a great declaration of who we are and what we're doing in this world. I'm going to let it shine. So it'll be this little light of mine everywhere I go and all over the world. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. And everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All over the world, all over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All over the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thanks so much for singing with me.
Yes, if you, I mean, that you can't help but like get up and jam to This Little Light of Mine. Thank you so much, Brittany. I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ron. I'm going to hand the screen over to you now for our inspirational reading this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy spring renewal. Happy Easter, Passover, and Ramadan. I'm going to share some excerpts of an interview with the existential psychologist, Dr. Rollo May. And he emphasized the importance of what he calls the courage to create. He asserts that it takes courage to create an extraordinary life, optimizing our life, actualizing our potentialities. It takes courage. Cor, as most of us know, is the Latin root word for heart. May says that just as the heart pumps blood to our organs, arms, and legs, bringing vitality and life energy to the body, so is courage, the fundamental virtue that pumps the essential vitality to all the other virtues and values of our life. Without courage, he says, all other values and virtues wither away. Courage is absolutely essential to truly being human, to being alive. He says that courage is not the opposite of despair and fear. It's about moving through these energies and challenges. Courage somehow alchemizes what was once despair and fear. He says it's not about being fearless. It's often about encountering some measure of fear, observing the fear, suspending judgment, allowing, feeling the fear, breathing into it, maybe noticing other sensations and thoughts coupled with positive intentionality. And then the energy is alchemized and transformed. Then there's that resurrection, that rebirth into who we really are. He says an acorn becomes an oak without any thought. A kitten becomes a cat without any thought. Their being is their nature. Finding this courage in our beingness, this center of strength, becomes the greatest way that we can serve the world. He says that every organism has one and only one central need in life, and that is to fulfill its own potentialities. If we don't express our original self, this beingness, this courage, if we don't express it, we not only suffer, not only are we betraying ourselves, but we are not giving the world what the world needs from us. Joy. Joy arises out of our courage to create authentically and to express ourselves, giving to the world what the world most often needs from us. So in the spirit of rebirth, of renewal, of spirit and soul, consistent with Rollo May has affirmed, may we embolden and inspire each other to truly live creatively, courageously, authentically, and joyfully, thus giving to the world what the world awaits from us. And so it is.
Beautiful message. Perfect message for today. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. That was great. A lot to digest. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful message. Okay, Brittany, I'm going to hand the screen right back over to you for our next song this morning. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Ron. That was really powerful.
Thank you.
I happen to be a big fan of Cat Stevens, and you'll see I have a little Cat Stevens theme going on today. But this first song, it always makes me think of this time of year and these holidays and the spring and this fresh new energy that we're hopefully all feeling today. So please enjoy. Morning is Broken. Morning is broken like the first morning. Blackbird is spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the earth. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the new garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, earth's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the earth.
Beautiful, beautiful little variation in there.
Thank you so much.
Brittany. I love it. Oh, I love that song. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to us. Okay, it's time for our prosperity blessing today, and I'm going to hand the screen over to Ron for that. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. You know, Brittany, that was beautiful. I feel some tears. It was so reverent. It felt so reverent. Thank you so much. I want to send some love and light to Ukraine, and I ask that we hold that love and light to all those beautiful people in Ukraine for the suffering that they're undergoing. I'm now going to offer a prayer, our prayer of gratitude and plenitude. I invite us to enter into stillness now, opening our breath, our minds, and our hearts, breathing in and breathing out, sinking into stillness, into spacious awareness, releasing all undue anxieties, concerns, worries, and distractions. and bringing ourselves more fully into the here and now. Gently, gently touching into sacred breath and sacred stillness. Let us affirm and confirm our interconnectedness and oneness with all that is, with the mystery of life, with the beauty of all creation, for the beingness that we are. For within this beingness lives wholeness, harmony, and joy, creativity, wisdom, and love, all of which we are inherently, intrinsically. We awaken to our essential nature, graciously, gratefully, and for most of us, gradually. We acknowledge and accept that we are living under extraordinary circumstances, intensities, challenges, and opportunities. And we realize more and more our quickening and awakening into a transformation of consciousness. We are consciously co-creating and birthing with the web of life, an emerging paradigm in consciousness, born of awareness, wholeness, and love. And we are especially grateful for the conscious, authentic community that we are birthing, celebrating, and sharing among ourselves and with our interwoven communities and the world. All of this is done, and for this we offer heart-centered thanks, blessing and releasing this sincere prayer into the ethers, into the great mystery, knowing that Spirit unfolds and reveals its perfect, mysterious work, all in divine order, all in nowness, all in oneness. It is done, and so it is. And so, thank you for that. And I want to just share some brief community announcements, some of which Amy already outlined. For those of you that missed yesterday, we had a beautiful community circle experience, as well as our ritualistic concert music with the band 360 and John Shen. Hopefully, all of us will come together with friends and family and dogs and babies. Any pets that we have, pet peeves, just bring it all. And we're going to be meeting at the Brentwood Veterans Park. And that's going to be on Saturday, May 21st. It's always the third Saturday of the month. So we don't anticipate rain, but with climate change, who knows? But we don't anticipate rain on May 21st. So we'll be out in the park there on Balfour, Brentwood Veterans Park. Mark your calendars for that. Again, the starting time is 11 o'clock. 11 to 12 is the community circle, and then 12:30 to 12 to 1:30 is music. Mark your calendars also for our in-person Sunday service. In May, it will be Sunday, May 1st. So it's going to be at the Antioch Community Center. Some of you know, some of you don't. We hope that we will have 40, 50 people there very soon. We visualize that. We hold that in consciousness. Please park close to the front door. The front entrance is the entry point for going to the West Island room. So please come in through the main entrance. And as Amy indicated, we're now offering a 10-minute holding space meditation, a circle of prayer. And we hold the space of harmony, light, and love, blessing. It's blessing vibration to our service, to our community, and to the world. It starts at 9:35 to 9:45. So please join us for that if you would like. And we've been filling out the renewal of our membership forms. We have about 25 people that have documented their contact information. It's so important so that we have a point of actual contact and communication with each other, and you can learn about the events that come up. So please make a point of registering the renewal process. We'll be circulating those forms on the 21st of May there, and also on May 1st on the Sunday service. So we'll be circulating that. Please sign those up. We would appreciate it. Check out our weekly connection, as Amy indicates, every Wednesday evening in your email. And please consider volunteerism, volunteering for our committees. This is really not just a board function. We really need your contributions, your collaboration, your participation, and innovation together. This is a creative process. We need you to have the courage to create and participate in our committees. And so our new book clubs are up and running. All are welcome. Find the links for these groups on our website, www.brentwoodinspiredlivingcenter.com, and check out all the upcoming events. So happy rebirth, happy spring renewal, Easter, Passover, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ron, for all of those important reminders. Okay, Brittany, I'm going to hand the screen right back over to you for our last song this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So when I heard that part of the theme today was courage, I thought this song was very fitting, because what is more courageous than to be our true, authentic selves in this life? And I think that that's what this song embodies. It's a very simple message, but it's very powerful. If you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be, you know that there are. And if you want to live high, live high. And if you want to live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. And you can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, oh, it's easy. Oh, you only need to know. If you want to say yes, say yes. And if you want to say no, say no. 'Cause there's a million ways to go, you know that there are. And if you want to be me, be me. And if you want to be you, be you. 'Cause there's a million things to do, you know that there are. And you can do what you want, the opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, well, you can do it today. And you can make it all true, and you can make it undo. You see, oh, it's easy. Oh, you only need to know. If you want to sing out, sing out. And if you want to be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million ways to be, you know that there are. You know that there are. You know that there are.
Woo, I love it. Thank
Thanks
you
so
so
much.
much, Brittany. We
I had so
love
much
it.
fun with that one.
We did too. We did too. Oh, thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Ron. Both of you for bringing your divine spirits and bright light, Christ light to us this morning. We love and appreciate your energy and your joy. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Happy Easter. Mwah. I will see you
Thank you.
on this side.
And happy Easter as
Brittany.
well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm so full of gratitude to have Fred back here sharing with us. And he's in our old stomping ground where I would meet him. So I'm feeling a little far away at the moment because we should be at a Starbucks, right? Down the street. But at least we have Zoom. I'm so grateful. Fred is here to share about the courage to be kind. And isn't that a profound statement? I can't wait to hear. So I'm just going to tell you quickly about Fred Luskin if you don't know about him already, which I believe you do because he's an amazing person, but let me just say it again. Frederick Luskin, PhD, is the author of the best-selling Forgive for Good and Forgive for Love, and one of the world's leading researchers and teachers on the subject of forgiveness. He is the director of the Stanford Forgiveness Projects, a series of research projects that have validated his forgiveness methods. He is a lecturer in wellness at Stanford University School of Medicine and department chair of clinical psychology at the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. And he is a phenomenal human being that has done such amazing work in the world. And I am so grateful for you in our life here at Brentwood Inspired Living Center. I'm going to pray us in and hand the screen over. So just allow yourself to tune in, center in, and just regulate into an awareness right now. We are so grateful and so thankful for the preciousness of this breath, for this community, for this life. As we rest in our expression of the I am that I am identity, that we are, that Jesus exemplified, we accept the power and the presence that the kingdom is within. And as we renew our minds, we recognize that nothing is really destroyed or dies, but it's transmuted, it's alchemized, it changes in form. And through a shift in perception, this journey in consciousness, we realize that the truth within is not idle, it's expanding, and it continues to be revitalized by the Spirit as we radiate the Christ light. We bless Fred, we cover him in our appreciation and our gratitude and our love, and we know that the courage to be kind lives within us as we open up to the message this morning. And I release this word in love as love for love. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you, Fred. It's all yours.
Hello, Amy. It's nice to see you. Hello, everybody. When I think Amy emailed me the topic, the courage to be kind, and but I don't really care what anybody asks me to talk about, and but I thought about it when I was just thinking for a few minutes this morning what that meant, and I think it's a much deeper question than would just be seen at first glance, the courage to be kind, because it's one of the hardest questions we each confront in ourselves is how do we cultivate and develop the character to do what we know is the right thing? And that is at some of a very deep and not totally answerable question. There's so many ways that like kindness or goodwill or patience or tolerance or forgiveness, all the multiple aspects of kindness, how hard it is to demonstrate them. And the courage often is in aligning ourselves, challenging ourselves to do our best, practicing doing it. Like the kindness of any form is a life practice. It's not just well, somebody cuts me off on the freeway, can I not bite their head off? Or if my partner makes a mistake, can I be tolerant? but it's at the deepest expression of our character. And so you don't, and this is what makes it so hard and so unusual to find people who are actually kind, is how much work it takes to develop character and how much attention that takes. It's not something you turn on and off or align with for a few minutes during a day. It's a basic life pursuit. What is my character? Like what's my basic essence? What I most deeply believe in? So all of us, to some level, either we're wired or our cultures create a basic alignment towards magnification of the self, self-gain, promotion of the self, maybe protection of a handful of people that we care about. But that's our basic value system. And that's how we evaluate almost everything. Was it good for me? You know, did it further my aims? Did it help me get through this life with more power or control or resources or whatever it is that I think I need? But in that kind of system, kindness is pretty close to irrelevant. And that's why there's so little of it. And I don't mean the surface kindness of like having good manners. Those are valuable things too. I'm not minimizing those, like just like the social lubricants and the surface behaviors. Those are wonderful and should be practiced by everybody. And I even believe should be taught to our kids. But kindness is much deeper than that. It emerges from a sense that I'm not the only important thing in the world. Otherwise, why would you be kind? I mean, what would you be kind for, and who would you be kind to? The kindness emerges from recognizing that I'm not the only important entity, and that other entities may benefit from my goodwill. And that at an even deeper level, I will benefit from my own goodwill, but it won't be in necessarily that personal gain aspect. It will be that I will have a very different relationship to life. You know, it won't be so competitive, and it won't be filled with scarcity, and it won't have quite as much fear in it. Because I'll be saying at some level, one of my deep values is not just to further my own ends, but maybe be of some help to others as they try to further theirs. And like that has to be worked on and attended to and reflected upon, and you have to make life choices, and you have to like take care of your boundaries, and there's all sorts of things, all sorts of preparation for allowing that kind of kindness to emerge. You know, so if we're rushing around all the time, it would be almost impossible to be kind, because rushing is just a normative sense that I can't get everything I need in the time I perceive allotted to me. So I have to push fast. And pushing fast like that limits our awareness of the people around us. You know, because our needs become superordinate. And so we'd have to rush less. And maybe we would have to use technology a little less so that we could notice other people. That we would see just the vast number of human beings that there are. I mean, can't be kind to everyone. But these are the aspects of a deeper look at what that means when the question is the courage to be kind. It's the strength and the sacrifice and the humility and the recognition that and the very, very, very difficult and dangerous recognition that everybody in the world's just like me. They're caught up in selfishness. They're struggling. It's not easy to live. Being a human being is a big challenge. On an Easter, it's recognizing that every single person has a cross to bear. Many of us have many crosses to bear. That it's not unusual to struggle and to be vilified both for mistakes and for non-mistakes. So to be a human being is no easy task. To recognize that other people are undergoing the same thing, that's an expansion of consciousness. But I'm not so sure that we can be legitimately kind without some expansion of consciousness, because otherwise it's too restricted to our simple worldview of self. And so it has to be practiced. In the yogic tradition, they have the yamas and the niyamas, the ethical conditions. The Judeo-Christian has the 10 Commandments. So those are all practices on how to be kind. I mean, they're the ethical, moral foundations of a spiritual life. Don't steal. The yogic traditions, have even instructed that's don't take anything that's not offered to you. Like, that's how deeply they look at non-stealing. But the whole point is that I think that the religious and wisdom traditions recognize that it's very hard to have like higher states of consciousness if it's not based on an ethical foundation. And the ethical foundation often is based on kindness. This lack of selfishness, this lack of self-absorption. So don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. The positives, right speech, temperance. We all know these things, but we struggle to put in the work along the lines of these moral, ethical precepts, which will help us then behave more kindly. We think that somehow we can short circuit that and make it a simple conversation on a church service, and you can, but that has almost no influence on behavior. It's getting a hold of ourselves. Am I behaving or thinking in a way that's in alignment with certain ways of looking at the world? With the Buddhist right speech, it's is what you're going to say necessary? Is what you're going to say helpful? Like, can you say in a way that's not destructive? it doesn't mean then that you don't criticize. It doesn't mean that you don't articulate yourself. It doesn't mean you don't stand your ground. But the kindness is in those questions. Is it necessary? Will it hurt? Can I say so in a way that's thoughtful? That's kindness. No, it's funny. I'm sitting here in my car, and I parked right behind a pickup truck. I'm at a church parking lot, but I parked right behind a pickup truck with a bumper sticker that's staring at me. It says, "Fight not, even for truth, without love in your heart." And I think, and that struck me when I stopped here. I thought, wow, okay, like that's the essence of forgiveness. What are you fighting for if you don't have love in your heart, or even at least tolerance in your heart? What are you fighting for? To punish people, to make them feel bad? What are you fighting for? But that's the essence of kindness. Fight not even for truth without love in your heart. And love may be too strong, too hard, but at least like tolerance or acceptance or compassion for yourself, something. But what I'm trying to say is, like, there are pathways that the world's major religions have articulated to help us go inward to a place where we see our common nature with other humans, and we work on our tendency to want to hurt them because it benefits us. And these traditions are designed to help us see those aspects of ourselves so we can choose to either let them go or work with them. It all starts with awareness and choice. You have to go inside and see ourselves honestly before you can change anything. So you find your own unkindness all over the place. It's very hard to choose to be kind until you recognize how much you're not. Because then you can see yourself honestly. No, there I was, there I wasn't. It's like, then you can start choosing if that's your value system. Other people have different value systems. They see their kindness and they want to get rid of it because it doesn't help them get ahead, or it doesn't help them acquire more resources, or it doesn't help them get a certain kind of power. But we have to choose it because it touches something that we want. And none of this can come without like some self-awareness and some digging in to see ourselves. Otherwise, until then, it's a lot of it is just pretend. People go to church and they talk the stuff of their church, and they, my teacher says this and your teacher says that, but that's still at the pretend level. Because you're only referring to other people's wisdom. But then you get to the deeper level where it's like, here's who I am for real. And what do I want to do with it? Do I want to grow, or do I want to learn, or do I accept myself? That's where the deeper religious experience starts, is in, well, I'm a choosing individual who has goals. And what am I willing to work for? And what am I willing to push against in myself? So I think, this is just, my musings is that the courage to be kind is the courage to see ourselves. You know, it's not that hard to be kind to other people every now and then, or even kind to ourselves. But it takes a lot of courage to see all the ways we're not. And a lot of courage to honestly work with that. And a lot of guts to not have to hide it from ourselves and other people. You know, that takes a lot of courage. You know, I've known this for years, but it takes a long time to make any peace with any of this. I remember decades ago when I started doing couples therapy, and I would see how, like, the warring partners, mostly they saw honestly the other partner. They didn't see themselves honestly at all. I mean, you know, they were completely blind and oblivious to themselves, but they had some insight to the other. And then they were trying to change the other without having any insight into themselves, which, you know, really is futile. But I remember thinking, like, how much courage it takes to really be in an honest, intimate relationship, because you're with somebody who sees you. And how desperately difficult that is, because they see you and you can't pretend. But most of us, myself included, would prefer pretending, so that when the partner would say, stop being who you are, you would say, no, that's not who I am. You're not seeing me clearly. I would rather be seen as this, even though my behavior doesn't manifest this. And then we would get defensive and fight or criticize or attack. But maybe, and I mean this, like after 20 or 30 or 40 years with somebody, maybe we can take their feedback and just say either thank you or let me think about it. Like, after decades, maybe we can be honestly curious about ourselves. And that would be huge growth and a deep amount of courage to take in information about ourselves and evaluate it honestly. And if we're found like, yeah, you know, maybe I'm not the most patient guy in the world, well, then what do I do with that? Do I just tell somebody, stop pointing it out to me? Or do I examine? So that's the piece that, you know, I chose to put my 20 minutes towards you for, about that. The real courage it takes to see yourself and to somewhat objectively look at yourself or myself and not have to pretend that we're better than we are, or that we're not in need of at least fender repair, if not a full engine overhaul. You know, we all need some kinks chipped out. But if we want to be kinder, this is the kind of courage that it takes. Whether you're in an intimate relationship or a work relationship, there's got to be some willingness to see how it is that we are showing up. And are we comfortable with that? And that takes a lot of guts and a lot of work to show up without that protection of defensiveness or avoidance. Anyway, I thank you as always for inviting me to talk. It's nice. I've been talking for this church for years, and I appreciate the continuity.
Well, we appreciate you. And I was thinking as you were sitting there, I know Fred's not in his car, he's in a rental car, but in his car, he has a picture of Jesus. And I was thinking
do.
when you were talking about, which I think is really profound, I was thinking about all of the things you were talking about. I was coming up with, you know, that phrase people often sort of lean into is like, what would Jesus do? You know, and a quick way to reframe. And I was writing down so many great points. If you have a question or a comment, pop it in the feed right now, and I'll get to that in a second. You know, what you were saying, we all have a cross to bear. I really appreciate your perspective. And you were talking about aspects of courage to be kind. And you talked about, you know, if we're rushing around, we're sort of pushing our limits and pushing through the world fast. This totally limits our awareness. And so that would be easy to just steamroll over people and life in that place, because like you said, you know, the priority becomes oneself. You know, who cares about anything else in the way, right? Just. And also you mentioned technology, you know, being sort of a limiter to maybe what we can see beyond if we get sort of myopic, and how we can expand out of that small space and consider others and consider humanity and recognize, how did you say this? You were talking about how we all have a cross to bear, right? That expansion of consciousness is to understand and recognize that everyone is caught up in their own human beingness. You know, everybody is having their experience, and to have compassion. You listed some words, you know, tolerance, acceptance, compassion. You know, if we can't quite reach for, you know, love for everybody, but some of those are definitely in the realm of grasping and embodying. Fred's still there. He's there. And I love the conversation about, you know, couples and how often it's the finger pointing out and you need to change, and without any insight or introspection. And really, it's not just with couples, right? It's with, like, most people with anything going on. What's happening out there is the problem, not anything here. And you know, going back to what you were saying, there's practices in a lot of the religions and the wisdom traditions and spiritual centers, and give a frame so we can return to that center, return to that kindness, or at least be reminded back to that place. And so I was thinking about some of the ways, you know, like a practice. You said it becomes your life. You can't just show up, you know, randomly in moments. It becomes who you are, how you live, right? Let's see if there's a question. I think there is. Jan says, woo, the courage to see myself, the courage to ask, how am I showing up? And am I in alignment with the ethical foundations of the world? Thanks, Jan, for really tuning into these questions. I mean, some of the questions that I was jotting down as Fred was talking about, you know, things we can ask ourselves about, you know, is it necessary? Will it hurt? Can I say this in a way that is kind? You know, I love the bumper sticker. What are you know, fighting for if you don't have love in your heart? What are you fighting for then, right? To be right, to hurt, to great questions, you know, profound questions to consider, right? What are you, if you're in that?
Amy,
Yes.
I gotta go.
Okay.
I gotta go do something else. It's lovely to see you as always.
We love and appreciate you, and thank you for fitting us into your day. I know you have a lot of good stuff going on today. We will connect. Thank you for being here. Lots of gratitude and love. Okay, everybody. I see your comment, Luinda. Luinda's felt it was a great message. Insight for spiritual evolvement, always room to grow and recognize we are all one. It's about putting ourselves in each other's places. Yeah, right. Exactly, Luinda. That's true. When Fred was talking, I was thinking about like, well, what are the practices, that I've used to kind of realign always in my life, and practicing the pause, so that we can go into a response versus a reaction. And I've said for decades now, something like, I'm not interested in that. So if it was an energy, a vibration, a feeling that wasn't in alignment with kindness, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in participating in that conversation or watching that or being in that space. And also to the question, what is mine? What is mine to know, to see, to do, to hear, to learn? What is mine in this situation? Coming back to that, and not always, pointing the finger out, like what is theirs to do? No, what is mine to do? So, thank you everybody for being here on this Easter Sunday. We are not having a workshop. Obviously, Fred is off to his meditation. But the link is open for anybody who wants to connect there. It's on our homepage, brentwoodilc.org. So that's opened. I am heading off to Easter egg hunt and Easter with my family, my new grandbaby's first Easter. So that's pretty exciting for us. And I wish you all a beautiful, blessed day of renewal, rebirth, revitalized energy and vibration. If you feel refreshed, restored, had a great remembering today, or feel a renewal by being in this sacred container that we call Brentwood Inspired Living Center community, please consider visiting our giving page on our website, brentwoodilc.org. We invite you to share in this energetic exchange with us that says, I support the mission of Brentwood Inspired Living Center. I value the purpose of this community, and I say yes to co-creating with this this space, these people, this community, this energy for the good of humanity. So thank you. Our center is 100% supported by all the generous contributions. We thank you for this conscious giving, which enables us to thrive and supports our growth and expansion to be love in the world. And just as a little aside, if you are going through PayPal for your donations, please select friends and family. We've been seeing a lot of PayPal fees, and that means that PayPal is getting a little bit of a cut from the donation. And if that's your intention, wonderful. I love PayPal. I appreciate PayPal. So that's wonderful. And if it's not your intention, you can select friends and family, and then that fee won't be attached to your transaction. So I'm going to put up the prayer of divine awakening, which is perfect for our awakening here on Easter morning, for you to speak out loud and make this a declaration for your life. And here it comes on the screen. Let me just pull it up here, and it should be there, and we can speak it out loud together. The prayer of divine awakening. It's a new day, a beautiful day, a new beginning. I embrace this day with new eyes, an open heart, and expansive mind. I choose my vibrational frequency deliberately and consciously, harmonizing with life's events. I am receptive to source energy, divine guidance and wisdom available to me at all times. I commit to serve unconditional love fully and completely. I move forward in a state of appreciation and extension of the one magnificent power and presence. I am sovereign, whole, and free, claiming dominion over my life as I go in peace and awaken to my divinity. And so it is. Blessings, beautiful, beautiful blessings, beloveds. I appreciate you. I love you. Shine on, bright ones. Happy Easter. And I will see you next week.